Hey there, Capricorn. It's Jen here. I'm doing your February 21 reading. I'm going to try to read my channeling and shuffle at the same time. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. So I see that some of you, or one of you, I don't know how many this could apply to, but maybe really doing a deep dive into the past, into their childhood, maybe going into therapy, things like that. But I also see maybe even doing hypnosis of some kind for, I don't know, anxiety, anything. But also doing a past life regression. I wish I did them because I could say, and I do those, but I don't. But I know lots of readers on YouTube can do past life regression. So it might be really, really, really just kind of mind-blowing and fascinating. And I see you just going like, holy shit, that makes so much sense. Even if you're a skeptic about it, or, not just kind of like, I don't know what this is about. How could this be beneficial? Blah, blah, blah. I heard a song, and something about it, you may have a real urge to travel. Like I see you just wanting to get in an RV or something and just sort of head out. Maybe because we've been stuck at home so much. But I feel like you're going on a journey. It's almost like a midlife crisis, but not in a I'm going to date someone inappropriately, almost too young, not like weird. I mean, you're a pedophile, and get a convertible and that type of weird stuff. But really a deep awakening on a whole new level and I feel like you've been pretty introspective, but I feel like this is sort of a whole new aha moment, a whole new level, a whole new thing. So I see you drawing a plan. Even if you can't draw, I see you drawing to try to at least get the visual out of your head, or even doing an outline. So you may want something built. You could be building a house, but I almost see it being more as like a project, even maybe around the home, or something that you can use for a business or to make your life more comfortable. But it could be a business plan. I see things like journaling, maybe getting one of those planners and kind of using it to meditate and think about your year and what you want to manifest and what you want to bring about. And I see this meshing though of creative and work, journaling, the creative side, and the planning, the more practical, let's make this work. I see therapy being a big coming up for some of you, maybe with your significant other or your family, but it could be, again, yourself. Maybe you have a therapist that does past life regressions or hypnosis or something, kind of a trained therapist that's into the metaphysical as well. I mean, I know some therapists that use tarot cards because they're such a great tool for self-exploration and to bring up things to think about and topics. Accepting that past trauma will never fully go away, and changing your expectations so you don't feel so defeated when an old demon resurfaces. Like doing the shadow work, but also understanding that it's not a flaw in you. It's not that you haven't tried hard enough. It's not that you're a failure. That's just the way the body and the brain works, and more be able to recognize, oh yeah, okay, well, good to see you again, you little stinking demon. I see you. I acknowledge you. I know this is triggering me. I'm struggling with this. Thanks for the reminder. You can just go back in whatever hole you crawled out of. You have knowledge and skills that you use or implement in one area of your life, but realize you don't use it in other areas. This, for example, I teach training. I developed and teach training in at my work. Yet I'm thinking of doing a tarot course. I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. And I'm like, you literally developed an entire training. You teach lectures and seminars on this. Like, you do this for your job. But somehow I completely compartmentalize it. And so letting those things spill into other areas of your life. Um, I see you trying to choose colors for something. And giving yourself permission, spending money on something aesthetically pleasing is a good investment. You're worth it. Your comfort and your surroundings matter. They make they set the tone for your whole day, or the atmosphere that you're in. Your comfort and surrounding matters. Your wants and needs are valid. Allow and schedule creative time just to think. I see you having some brainstorming, maybe some Zoom brainstorming sessions that are actually really fun. Just like any idea. I don't care how stupid you think it is. And sort of the beginning of something new emerging where again you're meshing your creative side, or letting other parts of your life come together, whereas you had them so compartmentalized before. I can't talk. Very creative time. I see spring colors, just lots of spring bright cheery colors. So even if you're like, well, I'm not decorating in oranges and yellows and pinks and greens, but maybe a painting. So you may even try your hand at painting, drawing, art. Again, that creative side just keeps coming up over and over. Your past does not dictate your future, especially where creative projects are concerned. Create for yourself. It's your uniqueness, your authenticity is the special sauce. Ooh, I just got the chills. You are your brand, whatever it is, and don't change you, because it's better to have a lot of semi-interested. Is it better to have a lot of semi-interested followers or connections, or to have a core of people that really get you, that are really into you? Think of paintings. Yes, there's some art that's more widely popular, but if it's just like finding that niche. I don't know. You're a natural teacher. I even see doing some sort of maybe blogging or podcast or some advice where you talk and connect with people. I see it being very funny and therapeutic. Even I don't know. It's like it's not emerging yet, but you just have all this creativity, and you just need to get it down and start channeling. Well, there you are, that gorgeous Ace of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. Here we go, a new building of a new foundation, planting a seed. This is something sustainable and long lasting. It'll grow into the mighty oak. It may be a little slow, so try not to get discouraged. And allow a more organic Zen approach. Allow it to sort of develop. And even if you have a plan and it starts heading off somewhere else, going with it and being like, okay, look, this, these seeds that fly in the wind, right? And, depending on where they end up, just because you're like, oh, I should plant it here, maybe it will end up and grow better somewhere else. You literally, if something's not like a bush or something is not working, or plants, they may need to be moved. The soil or lighting or something, how much sunlight they get, may just not be working. Ten of Swords. King of Swords. The King of Swords, to me, lots of times, the King of Cups, the cups cards can be the counselors, but I think the swords cards can also be really good counselors. They're of the swords are the mind, the thoughts, and someone to help you, these thoughts that you just keep, that literally you wince, or I've even found myself like face palming kind of back and forth my head, where random things of shame or things that will just pop into my brain. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, let it go. Um, so having someone really help you get all those organized and I feel like taking out those swords one by one, and what's the truth there? Is there truth there? What is behind this um, negativity that you're allowing into your brain? These inner demons, and examining and just pulling them out and being rid of them. But I think it's interesting. It's in the stump. So the rings of the tree, the many generations, the familial. What is that? Epigenetics that are passed on, and things like that. I'm adopted, so I didn't know my heritage or ethnicity, so I did the ancestry.com, and I was raised Catholic, and um, my parents got me from a Catholic orphanage, and I am 30% Jewish, which I think is just fantastic. Um, but I have a very, very, one of my oldest, dearest friends is Jewish, and she used to laugh. She would always say, "Oh, you have that guilt just like Jewish people do," but we kind of would be, it's the Catholicism. But, part of me, I always remember that because she was, "Oh, you feel guilty about everything." And then she said, "Well, maybe you do have that Jewish guilt in your genes." And I don't know. So even exploring things like that. Oh, look at this gorgeous Ten of Pentacles. This seed, right? That you're planting, you're offering, this legacy. And, these legacies over here, you don't need to carry them on. Yeah, they may plague you, but you can stop them from perpetuating. Um, and this, look at, I mean, it's just this gorgeous old tree, all this life experience, all these richness. I mean, these don't even have to be positive things necessary, but you know what I mean? Here's all the wisdom as I've grown. Some of these are scars, some of these are jewels, some of these are accolades, but they all make up who I am. There's a richness to the Ten of Pentacles. Wow. Happily ever after. Look at that. You may be going through family things, you may find a box of old family things. You may getting together with many generations, or reminiscing, or really thinking about grandparents or parents right now, and what does happiness mean? This is, again, authentically, what is your happily ever after? Not everyone's. If you're happily ever after, just because it doesn't look, actually, my same friend that I was just talking about, she has been in a very loving, very happy relationship for, I don't know, 25 years. And they have a house together. They've never had kids, and they never got married. And doesn't she hear, I mean, I think at this point they're in their 60s. They don't hear at least the kid part anymore, but why don't you get married? Why don't you have kids? Why don't you, like, and that's, I mean, no one does it to be mean. Probably some people do, but most people don't. But it's society. This is what makes you happy. This is how you measure if you're successful or if you're happy or whatever. And kind of throwing that out the window, because you only know if you're happy, and happiness is not something you can measure. It's not external, it's internal. Six of Swords, journeying on from these to calmer waters. Putting up some boundaries. Could be even within yourself. Like if I start thinking or doing this, I'm going to, if I recognize it, I'm going to do this using some techniques. And even having a story, if you're spiraling out about something, you did in sixth grade and you're slamming your palm against your head like I do, find myself doing. And I go, Jet, what are you doing? Take a breath. Take a breath, because you'll find probably that you've kind of stopped breathing. You're kind of tightening up everywhere. So releasing the tension. And I'm going to think about that glorious day we had at the beach. And I'm going to redirect myself. And I'm going to consciously let that go. But I mean, a therapist would have, oh my God, Ten of Swords again. You're really fed up with something. Maybe you're fed up with feeling a certain way and with feeling like you're still struggling. With those same things, you feel like they just constantly plague you. Am I ever going to get over this? So I think that change in perspective, getting someone that can really help you. If you have a therapist, there's the therapist. Some people want or need the therapist that's just your friend, that you can just unload. It's someone that will listen to you and is just sort of there for you to talk when you need it to be about you. You know what I mean? And then you have the therapist that there's a million different kinds, but maybe you need a therapist that is more educational, that teaches you the why behind things. And that's how your brain works. And then you can go, now I get why I do that. Or some people need the therapists that are, look, you're in an abusive relationship. You need to leave. You are an alcoholic. I don't know, whatever. Some people need or want that more, do we want this to take, is this an exploration, or do you really want to get to the meat of the matter? And there's the whole, an entire spectrum and everything in between. And maybe you're like, you know what, I need someone that's going to educate me more. Maybe you need something a little different. Because just the way you've been approaching it hasn't quite stuck for some reason. I do see you having a big breakthrough around some of these things that are plaguing you, those inner demons. But otherwise, I see you finding a lot of joy and peace and creativity and really creating an atmosphere where you work, or allowing time for your creativity and doing some inner work on some of these things.